Hi, everyone. It's Roxanne Grinage. It's Sunday, June 21st. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers, all right, and anybody who played a role as a father. All right. First, our live disclaimer during the broadcast of the show. Blog Talk Radio does not agree with, support, or have any knowledge of any prior knowledge of the content of this show. Higher Lyrics, Roxanne Grinage takes full responsibility for all the content and statements made in this show. All right, okay. I'm going to this is the fifth draft of what we know to be an quality of life enhancing administrative solutions tool for American families, for people who live in America, human beings who live in America. All right, and we're calling it the U.S. Citizens Controlled Centralized Public Search Incident Reporting Docket Thread Database. The only reason all those words are in it is to describe its function, its multifunction capability, and why it does, so that you can appreciate how it is going to raise quality of life and bring two-way accountability for whether or not the stimulus money that's being sent our way, to the in the trenches, real-life Americans, middle class, working poor, people struggling to keep their Social Security, working off the books and under the table to keep their Social Security numbers under the radar so that they don't have unfair and oppressive child support attachments and attachments of their refunds and so on when they're actually in the home trying to take care of their families. But the mechanized machines can't allow them to be seen as taking care of their families because what we're demonstrating and what we're documenting is the phenomena that is real. It's actually occurred. Our industries and processes and the enactment of all policies have become so mechanized to the point where they're so easily abused and misdirected and misused by those poor work ethic individuals, employees within any given Recovery.gov agency or private sector recipient of stimulus funding or federal funding, that there's absolutely no accountability for the fact that the money that's progressively and aggressively being sent to us from in this case, the Obama administration's economic stimulus recovery plan and budget implementation, as well-meaning as it is and as generous as it seems, it's really not going to reach the intended mark of the real American people as long as the components of work ethic, synergy, intent, and two-way accountability are not addressed administratively through administrative formulas, okay, which Higher Lyrics has plenty of data. And I'm not going to spend any more time on telling you what a standard access mechanism is. Get away from brand names. Substitute the word Higher Lyrics for standard access mechanism. Start to think in terms of fair, holistic, competitive processes. Start to think of what using words like challenge, what's blocking you from bringing your product contribution to market. Start to see your workday contribution as a product contribution, as an original creative work product, that your demeanor, your passion, your dreams, your hopes, your goals, and your outlooks do have value, and when you exchange them for anything, that you have a right to be compensated and you should be elevated in positioning, and the quality of your life for what you're able to give your children and your community should be raised when you input your product contribution, your outlook, your life experience, your need to survive and hold on, your demonstration of finding ways and means, and your resourcefulness should be acknowledged, fairly recognized, and fairly compensated. And the way that's going to happen is through a standardly accessed portal-style networking experience where we all find each other and create a white-heat-hot competition where the superior work product contributions, including thought and outlook, will emerge to be seen and purchased by the industries that sell them back to us as consumers. Education is consumed by us as Americans. Engineering, we are consumers of engineering. We are consumers of entertainment. We are consumers of art and performance and stand-up comedians. And we are consumers of comedy and comic relief. Stress relief. We are consumers of personal development. We are consumers of advertising. We are consumers of publishing. We are consumers of litigation, and so on and so on and so on. Please start to recognize that we need to have some say into what happens to our contributions into the industries that sell back our contributions to us, or a piecemeal part of contributions. We need to have available to us best quality work products, superior quality work products that withstood a fair competitive process, not only those work products that had the money to enter into a competitive process to be seen by the industry, to be brought to market, not just because they were somehow favored, they had the money in the position, or they knew the right names to drop. We need to have standard access, standard services, standard exposure and earnings opportunities, and a standard access mechanism, and as it's demonstrated in higher lyrics for the last 9 years, there are many names that you can call a standard access mechanism. It doesn't have to be higher lyrics. Anyone can do this. You share your learning, you share your information, and we all become self-empowered, and we can mutually elevate ourselves through standard access. So, quote, success is no longer a function of who you know or what you have. I'm going to go into the chat room and continue to document administrative horror stories and challenges and share back with you anybody who wants to give us their experience. We have a synergetic response where we give you the benefit of the learning, what is in our portal at this time, our data, other case studies that we have. We are building this to go as a prototype to go to the Obama administration to follow up on what we already sent to the Obama administration to date, totally unresponded to, totally unrecognized, as is expected, and as is usual, as media is so cliquish and does block. We're demonstrating and proving through a managed service list to the executive officers of Obama's White House administration in the so-called briefing room who claim to want to hear from Americans that there is no mechanism in place for U.S. government from the federal level down to the state level to local jurisdictions to have any clue about what the American population needs. So any decisions that they make, or even who the true Americans in the trenches, real Americans really are, so that any well-meaning stimulus that they're sending our way, any money, any funding, any policies, they always miss the mark, and they're inappropriate and non-applicable in many cases, and most times abused and siphoned off by undeserving people and people that they or entities that they never intended to get them, because they are relying on the media's portrayal of us, whoever the favorite talk show guest is on the latest TV icon personality, or media, the big news programs. If they don't hear it from NBC, MSNBC, or CNN, or BBC, then they don't know about it. So, and of course, we don't have access to these huge TV icons. Show hosts never invite us on their shows, to find out how child welfare caseworker completely mismanaged our child protective services file and lost our child in the system, and that there's some so-called foster family somewhere getting chicken food stamps for our child that we don't know if is alive or dead, is a runaway in New York or is dead somewhere, or selling herself on the street or being abused horribly, all right? And this family continues to get check and food stamps from the local city and state taxpayer jurisdictions. Excuse my coughing. I have a bad cold or a flu or something. All right, but life goes on. So while I'm in the chat room, I'm going to play these. There's a lot going on. Look at these videos that I pasted on the page here. They're at YouTube and MySpace. The titles are American Families Suffer from Media and U.S. Government Disproportionate Focus on Foreign Affairs. And what's this? Look at Support Build U.S. Economy Stimulus Accountability Database. Roxanne Grinage builds U.S. Citizens Public Database Prototype. Look at all of our rationale videos, particularly this one. The one that we opened the show with, the pre-recorded file, is also a video about how U.S. media and government, U.S. government being qualified to make any decisions about what happens to Americans and what affects Americans. The government is unqualified due to its reliance on media. What media gives them. Media is cliquish. Media closes out most of reality, what we're really experiencing. And let me just give this example today. Today is June 21st. There is a lot of, and rightfully so, there should be reporting on what's going on in Tehran and